All right, my name's Amy Wilson. I am a licensed massage therapist and yoga instructor. I'm also a former athlete and I've had a lot of injuries in my life, so I know a lot about soft tissue care. So this video is going to be a foam rolling tutorial. I'm going to keep it brief just for purposes of the video, but you really should take your time with the foam roller. You should never, if you just need to take a few minutes to rush through, it can help you in a pinch, but you really need to spend time with the foam roller. Like, instead of sitting on the couch at night watching TV, get in the floor and foam roll. I use it between every client, I use it between classes. It really keeps me going, and it's just a great way to keep your tissue feeling pain-free, so you don't let inflammation build up. Okay, so I'm just gonna do like the key things to relieve pain, but like I said, you have to explore, you have to take your time and explore and see what works for your body. So the first thing I'm gonna do is a supported upper back motion. So laying the foam roller down, you sit on the floor. If you are a female or a male with long hair, you wanna tie it up. Getting your hair pinched under the foam roller is the worst. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do is just lean back so that our middle back is on the roller and hands come behind the head to support the weight of your head. My feet are planted and I'm coming up, lifting the hips up. And I'm just slowly, at first, just doing little micro movements. I'm moving my body side to side on the roller. Just trying to warm up the tissue before we get actually rolling. So scoot down just a couple inches so that it's higher up on your shoulders. And again, we're just kind of shimmying back and forth a little bit. Maybe just rock the shoulders. Come up to the head. We're rocking side to side. We're coming down just to the middle back. So you're just kind of shimmying back and forth. I know it feels a little weird. It looks a little weird, but we're warming up this tissue. Okay, so now we're gonna do a couple slow rolls. So we're starting at the base of the skull, and then just coming down to the center of the back. Up, base of the skull, come down to the center of the back. One more time. Okay, so put your hips back down on the floor. We're still supporting our head, but now we're rolling over. So our elbow comes onto the top, is over the top of the roller. We're just rolling the bottoms of our shoulders. Breathe. Do not hold your breath. Moving the breath helps move inflammation out of the body. Okay. So now we're gonna lift our hips up and do the same thing. So we're rolling over the lats. Exhale when it hurts. Inhale center. Exhale over. Now just inch yourself up a little bit so that's a little lower on your back. Do it again. One more time, scoot it down so that's in the center of your back. Roll side to side. Now, if you're rolling, if you're snapping over things, that's your lats. You need to spend some time here. Now, start doing full rolls all the way down to the low back and up. Low back and up. Okay, so we're doing longer passes now. And all the way down. Okay, now stop. Sit on your butt, bring the roller to your low back, lean back on it, and kind of come to the side. So your elbow is supporting you, and you're leaning in, and leaning back towards the spine. Now this is safe if you do not have any hardware in your spine. If you do, this is not a good one to do. Or if you have any like bulging discs, this is probably not a good idea. We're getting in between the gap underneath the rib cage and above the hip bone. Okay, now shift onto the other side. Plant that elbow. And just rolling into it. You roll into the roller. going to bring the roller to under our hips. Well, actually, we're going to lay on our back with our low back on top of the foam roller. So start small, just by kind of maybe windshield wiping the knees back and forth a few times. We're trying to get the sacrum used to being on top of the roller. You have a lot of restrictive connective tissue on top of the sacrum. It cannot be stretched, it has to be broken down, and that's what we're doing. This is self-massage. Okay, so once it starts to feel a little bit better, we're gonna pick the feet up off the floor. And again, hold on to the edges of the roller with your hands, and we're just rolling our knees, kind of windshield wiping the knees back and forth. So try to come all the way over to one side, and all the way over to the other. It might feel really tight. It might feel really good to get in the pocket. So the pocket above the femur, below the hip bone, right in this little sweet spot. Try to get the curve of the roller in that pocket. All of your glutes attach in there. Okay. Let's do that 10 or 15 times. We're going to plant the feet, pick your hips up, roll the roller out so you can come back to the floor. And now we're going to sit on it. So sit on the roller, keep one hand on the floor. We're tilted to the side so we're on that glute, and we're just kind of rolling really in the meat of the muscle. So you're not going to hurt yourself by rolling over the bone. It's just not that comfortable, but all muscles attach to bone, so you want to get as close as possible. Just up and down, up and down. Tightness in the glutes can cause low back tightness. Okay, so shift over to the other cheek. And again, we're using our hand to support ourselves. Our feet are planted. And we're just rolling in the meat of the muscle. And when you find those spots where you're like, oh, that's where you really need to hang out. That's where the inflammation is, that's where the muscles are tight, and that's where your body's trying to tell you that it needs attention. The longer you foam roll and the longer you breathe and the more passive you can be while you do it, the better relief you're gonna get. And it's something that you have to get used to. At first it's uncomfortable, but eventually it starts to feel really good. You just have to work through that uncomfortableness, because that is your body telling you where the problem areas are. Okay, so now we're gonna actually sit up on top of it and straighten one leg, and then find your bone at the bottom, and you're coming just above it. We're trying to get that hamstring attachment point. It's like a ball, and you'll roll over it, you'll feel a lump. So get right on it. And when you're on it, slowly start to like move that leg back and forth a little bit. Shift, get a little bit of a different angle, keep doing it. And once you feel like it's warmed up, plant the opposite foot, cross your ankle over, lean, and really get in there. Again, you're gonna want to spend a lot of time here, but we don't have a lot of time in the video, so I'm gonna switch sides. At first, we're just finding that sit bone. We want the ball of muscle right above it, the hamstring attachment. We're sinking in and kind of moving the leg back and forth. When you're ready, cross that other foot over, keep the foot flexed, and we're leaning in. Everyone should have a foam roller at home so you're not afraid to get weird with it, because you're not going to do this kind of stuff like at the gym in front of people. Well, at least hopefully. I mean, people might think you're a weirdo. But spend as much time as you can with your foam roller. It is my best friend, I swear. Okay, now we're gonna move to the quads. Quads are very important because tight quads will pull the pelvis forward, putting pressure on the low back. And women especially are quad dominant, so it's really important to release the quads. So we're coming down we're gonna lay on top of the roller with it hitting us just below the pubic bone, right in the meat of the muscle of the quads. And this does not feel great, okay? Come down to your forearms, allow your legs to kind of bloop over the roller, so you might have to wait a minute for them to actually relax. And when that happens, we're just back and forth real slow. Again, tiny little movements to start warming it up. So we're going to the pubic bone and then just an inch or two below. Back and forth. Now bend the knees, and we're kind of windshield wiping the feet back and forth. Okay, now scoot up just a little bit so that the roller is a little lower on the leg. In the middle of the quad, bend those knees again, windshield wipe back and forth. You're gonna feel yourself rolling over all 4 of those quads. It's lumpy. And you wouldn't think that the quads would hold so much inflammation, but they do. Straighten the legs, come up just a little bit more. Do it again. Okay, so we're gonna come to just above the knee and shimmy back and forth a few times. You do not wanna roll over your knees, ever. Okay, now start taking long rolls so that you're coming to just above the knee and then right to the pubic bone. Full rolls. Okay, again, you're gonna wanna hang out there for a long time. Now we're gonna move to the IT band, which is the connective tissue on the side of the leg. It kind of joins up the quads and the hamstrings. It's like what's in between. It is not a muscle, it cannot be stretched. It has to be broken down. This is one of the best ways to do it. So you're gonna wanna find, again, that pocket here in the hip, above, like in between the hip bone. Start rolling side to side. And then we're gonna come up to the femur. And the other leg comes on for support. And we're just rolling all the way down to the knee and up to the hip bone. Knee to hip bone. So my left leg is just very passive. It's only on the roller to support myself so I don't have to worry about it. All of the weight is on the right leg, the bottom leg. Okay, this is the one that's you're gonna be like, oh, hell no, I don't wanna do it, but it's gonna change your life, it's amazing. So same thing, other side. Find your little pocket, roll back and forth a few times in that pocket, work above the femur, so the femur is like the thigh bone. Okay, so now get to right on it, on that bone. Turn this way a bit. Your other leg can be on top just so it's not in the way. And we're rolling to just above the knee, all the way up and down the femur. Okay, so now we're gonna do deltoid smash. So the deltoids are like your shoulder cap on the outside of your arm, and your pecs are underneath. Most people have tight pecs, which is why they're protracted, their shoulders are pulled forward. So Loosening the pecs is great, but you're not gonna get anywhere if the deltoids are tight because they're like also on top of everything. The pecs are really deep. So we're gonna come down and we're gonna lay like right on our shoulder cap. So I'm like laying with the meat, I'm gonna turn so you can see. The meat of my shoulder is in there. So if you can't handle the pressure of your full body, you can keep your legs on the floor and just kind of roll side to side like this. I do like pressure on mine. So I'm coming up, like, so all of my weight is on that arm and I'm rolling to just above the elbow, just under the collarbone. We're smashing it. We're smashing the delts. If you can't handle the smashing of the delts, roll side to side, just under the bone, under the collarbone, and then come down a little lower. The foam roller is a lot of you rolling while the foam roller is stationary. Okay, and then one more time, come to like the lower part of your arm, but still above the elbow. And we're smashing it. We're rolling back and forth. Okay, other side. Get down, sink into that muscle. It's best to do like tight, short, quick movements at first and then like to warm up the tissue and then get into the longer rolls. But I've been doing this a long time and I don't have to spend as much time with the short movements. So again, get the center of your arm. One more time, lower it. Feel warmed up, get your weight up onto it, and then roll all the way up and down. Okay. Another good thing is a calf smash. So sit on your butt, bring your legs wide. You want the roller to like just under the knee in the meat of the calf muscles. And lean forward. Put your weight on it. So we're trying to just smash our calves on top of this roller. And eventually you'll feel your legs stop fighting you because it's going to resist it at first. When you feel that happen, lean back and then start moving the feet side to side. Just rolling the legs side to side. Again, now scoot the roller to like the middle of the leg, the middle of the calf. Sink down, bend over, lean forward, put your weight on it. If you have tight calves, the buildup of that can lead to plantar fasciitis. Most of the time, it's not the actual feet that's the problem, it's the calf muscles. Lean back, windshield wipe the feet. And all those lumps, those places that you're popping over and you're like, oh, that's where you need to hang out and breathe. You're not trying to just glaze through it. I am for the purposes of the video. Okay, scoot it down one more time to where it's just above the ankle. Windshield wipe back and forth. And then the last thing I'm going to show you is our lat smash. So your lats are like the muscles that come under the shoulders and they connect close to the low back. Tight lats can cause a lot of low back pain. People think they've injured their back and really it's tight lats. So we're going to come this time down onto the roller with our arm up, and you want to hit right where your shoulder and rib cage meet, right here. That's what we're going to sit down on top of the roller. And let that arm be relaxed. Your head comes down on top of that arm. And you use the opposite arm just to help you roll. Now this is intense. It's a big muscle. It's the swimmer's muscle, the Michael Phelps muscle. So roll towards the spine, get close, and then come forward. You'll feel yourself roll over it. Try to get up on it and stay on it. Breathe. The more passive you are, the longer you can stay here and breathe through it, the better of a release you're gonna get. This is self-massage, but the body does try to resist you. The body wants to make sure you're not going to hurt it. So you have to be slow. Okay, I'm gonna scoot up, bring the roller down just a little bit more, lower on the rib cage, and now we're gonna start rolling. So if you want, you can take your opposite hand and support your head, so your head can kind of just be dead weight, and you're just holding it with the opposite arm. And we're rolling to the ribs and up to the shoulder. And lean over, try to get more towards the front. Okay, same thing other side. Do it from the back so you can see. I'm getting right down in this, where the rib cage meets. My bottom arm is relaxed. At first, I'm just rolling over. So now we're taking longer rolls, supporting our head, breathing through it. Exhale when it's hard. And again, spend as much time as you need. It's probably going to be a lot longer than what we did for purposes of the video. So those are my most important tips and tricks for using the foam roller. I hope you enjoyed the video. You can support me on Patreon. It's patreon.com/angryyogi. I do mobility things like this on there. I also have over 30 full-length classes, yoga classes that I teach, and it's all safe movement because we want to avoid injury out there. So I appreciate it, and thank you.